Hey, good morning, Melanie School of Mindset, and I've got a pretty good talk for you today. We are going to talk about the lies you grew up believing. I know that sounds really crazy, but we actually grew up believing so many different lies, but it wasn't intentional lies. It's all just the way people's minds work. All right, so one of the big, huge, gigantic life changers for me last year was this one. You hurt my feelings. That's a big one. What I mean by that is nobody else can control your thoughts and emotions except for you. So why do we teach our kids? Oh, don't say that, you hurt my feelings. Oh, be careful, you might hurt their feelings. Each person that that gets their feelings hurt in the moment, it's a choice. It's a choice to let the words of somebody else affect the way that you're feeling, affect your mood, affect your thoughts, affect your emotions. It's staying strong in moments like that, where you can stand there and know in the moment, take a deep breath, only I create my thoughts and only I create my emotions. Let me give you a really good example. Last year, I lived with my ex for almost 4 months after we had decided to split up. And because of it, there was a ton of pain, a ton of anger, a ton of guilt, a ton of every negative feeling you could imagine that would come with a marriage. And for my ex, I was marriage number 3. For me, marriage number 1. For him, marriage number 3. So he was more in the screw it, the first 2 didn't work out. So now that the marriage is done and we're living together, it's just the anger and really not knowing how to correctly process that. And in turn, just like my family, he came out with the negative because in that situation, that's what you're supposed to do, right? You get a divorce and then you get mad over everything that you couldn't fix. But that's where I stayed strong. I stayed strong in not letting those negative words in. There were days where it would just be days and days and days and weeks on top of weeks where I would go to bed just in my head, stay strong, stay strong. We'll eventually move out. So just knowing that I create my emotions, I create my thoughts, nobody else. It puts the barrier in between your words and my mind. That's why now, with my sister just completely laughing in my face because I tell her that I need to learn to love myself before I can learn to love others, and her laughing, it's one of those moments where it's like, I understand that you don't understand, and that's okay. It's okay. Not everybody not everybody knows this. That's why I want to talk about it. Many people that I know today, that I hang out with today, they don't realize this either. This is one of the huge keys to my success, my personal success last year. So another one that is a lie is that you should meet the needs of your spouse, whether that's your wife, your husband, whatever that may be. You should not be meeting their needs. The only needs that should be met are the needs that you can meet for yourself. And if you can't, then it shouldn't be a need of yours. And if it is, you need to maybe take time to think more about that and realize if you've got a need that needs to be met, that's something that you need to be in charge of. It's not somebody else's problem to meet your need. It's not somebody else's job to meet your need. one of the things I want to talk about with it's not your job to meet their need. I don't know if any of you have ever been told this, but have you ever been told it's your job to do the dishes, or it's your job to clean up the kids' mess in the living room, or it's your job as the wife to do the kids' lunch in the morning? It's your job to make sure the laundry's done as the wife. Have you ever been told that? Because I have. This is one of the many reasons why I'm so happy today, single, with my kids. Because I couldn't meet the needs of my ex-husband. And that's okay. That doesn't mean that I'm wrong. It doesn't mean that he's wrong, because that's the belief system in his head. So in both of our heads, we're both right, but completely opposite of what right is for each other. So in learning all of that, it's like mind blown. Only I can control my thoughts, my emotions, my actions. I'm the only one that can meet my needs. I love it. Another one, good grades versus bad grades. Growing up, between having horrible eyesight and being dyslexic, I didn't have a fighting chance in school. I got such bad grades, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I actually failed 5th grade. I did it twice. But you know what? Growing up my whole life, I let that define me. I let that define how smart I thought I was. Good grades and bad grades do not define how smart you are. Getting A's does not define how smart you are. That just may be an easy route of knowledge for you, and it's easy for you to in and out on a test. Me, being dyslexic, passing a test is really, really hard. First comes the anxiety, because I know that it's going to take me the extra time to reread each question multiple times enough to actually understand the correct words in the question itself. But I let that define me my whole entire life. I let that stay strong and true when I went to apply for jobs throughout my life. That's why I am at the level I'm at, because I have let that define me when I shouldn't. Just like college. Going to college does not make you a smarter person. Now, if that's a belief that you grew up believing, that college will make you smarter, that college will get you that successful job, well then exactly that. It's that mind state. It's that belief. It's the power behind the mindset. The power behind the belief is what is actually getting those students or those people that say, you need college to be smarter. It may have worked for them because that was the mind trick that they told themselves to get through it. That's the reason they went there. They went there to get smarter, and they went there and got smarter. But you don't have to go to school or college, to be considered a smart person. It's just the difference in beliefs there. But yes, growing up, I always let my grades define me. I let failing 5th grade define who I was. I've always been really smart. Looking back, I can say that with confidence, and it makes me feel good. Just because I took a little extra time to read did not take the quality of my smartness away. It's realizing things like this where we can hopefully teach our kids the amazing things about life, the amazing things about not letting others control who you are. One of the big things that I like to teach Zachary is you are the only you. There is nobody else in this world that is like you. You're the only one. You're the only one that reads like you. You're the only one that talks like you. And that's what's really, really cool about being able to make friends. It's learning the differences between all of us and being excited about them and sharing them with each other, building each other up, finding friends and people that you never thought possible because you already had the pre-perceived images of who you thought they were, but it couldn't have been more from the truth. But this is me in a nutshell. One of the really, really, really big keys of why I'm so mentally successful today is because I know that only I create my emotions. That almost made me tear up. Only I create my emotions, and only I create my thoughts. And I'm creating my world the way that I want, with the people I want in it, building my kids up the way that we should build all kids up. One fun thing that I'm going to be doing this coming week, a week from today, that I'll tell you about. Next Friday morning, Friday the 13th, I'm actually doing 4 different classes at Zachary's school for Career Day. And I'm going to be doing the same flower picture like we did in my classes so far. So I'm really, really excited to be able to open up the kids' eyes to just the way other minds think, and seeing the pictures when we're all done, and getting to actually look around the room and see how different everybody is, maybe hoping that that could tie us together just a little bit tighter. But this is me, episode number 9, I do believe. How crazy. I've been doing this for almost 2 weeks. But yes, it's the end of Makeup Today, chatting with Mel. But I really hope that you guys can maybe listen to this once or twice. Gosh, listening to this episode with Brooke Castillo, I've probably listened to it 10 or more times. It's just the one that I go to when I'm having a hard day, just to listen to somebody else tell me it's okay, and having the thoughts that I have. It's okay to be you, and it's okay to be unique. You don't have to fit the mold that anybody else wants you to fit in. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do that doesn't serve your life. Just because it serves somebody else's doesn't mean you have to do it, and doesn't mean it's right. So, Melanie, School of Mindset, love you guys. I will see you Monday.